Heck. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. "30 seconds to battle." The battle begins.
Stupendous! Denied. He is still kind of having a rough time in this mid lane, but you sort of expect that, especially when the Storm has somebody block for him in the beginning, and the Storm even has the Dazzle rotate even sooner than Sneko was here, and so this is just going to be a lane that's going to be a little bit rough for Denny to deal with, but Sneko pops the Arctic Burn. Shouldn't take too much damage as a result of this, though.
Oh, that last shot of Arctic Burn missed on the Dazzle, so he doesn't get that percentage base burn. Man, gotta be a little careful here. It's gonna take some Rocket Barrage damage. Not that big of a deal, though. It is only at level 1. I anticipate, I think you should probably go for the Rocket Flare build.
Just because he's going to have 0 chance, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be able to survive in this lane.
It's going to be so hard to get CS. Against a Gyrocopter, it always is. But he can always get experience, and that's the important part. Plus, it's like Battery Assault isn't particularly strong against PL or Storm Spirit, right? Because both of them can just jump outside of the cog, so you have no real guaranteed core that you're going to be able to lay Battery Assault into.
Wait, what? Storm and PL is on his team.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit lost after reconnecting like 5 different times.
Okay, it's a good excuse. I'll accept it.
I suppose you have SF that goes BKB
you know, I'm just messing with you. Like, I think you're completely right there.
PSM gets the first blood there.
That's pretty significant. Last game they had the opposite happen, where the offlane for Na'Vi had quite a rough time, but this time around, Mag's going to be the first one off the map.
Sneko is just not leaving no one alone. He is into him constantly.
This is just... It's so annoying for a Storm to have to go up against this. Like, it's just not pleasant. Because even if you know that you have a support there, it's so much easier for a Shadow Fiend and a Storm Spirit to be able to pressure, or a Shadow Fiend and a Winter Wyvern to be able to pressure than a Dazzle and a Storm ever is, like in a million years. Like, there's actually no...
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Denied! Dazzle behind him, so it probably was just to harass a little bit, but they're going to have nowhere near the amount of damage that they need, and this is the type of game that you wanted to see from Na'Vi. They slow down the pace of it like crazy. Dendi's finally starting to really abuse this lane because a Storm Spirit, either you get aggressive at that point, or you can never get aggressive against the Shadow Fiend anymore. Like, there's a time period where you can kill him, but once you get raised once, the Shadow Fiend can just kind of hold his ground and beat you in a fight.
Lance goes out, trying to push back against Funnick. They go for the deny, but Pasha still able to claim that tier 1 tower bounty. See, net worth-wise, what are we looking at here? Still the PL slightly ahead of the SF, and the Storm Spirit slightly ahead of the Gyrocopter, but nothing major at this point.
A large reason for that, too, is that tower that just went down.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest influence in that. And at top, Pasha is just...
He's playing this very far forward. If, well, he actually still doesn't have enough mana. Even if he did Soul Ring to go for, like, the quick black hole with his allies coming in.
Yeah, Funnick just pops the Midnight Pulse there to check to see.
Yeah.
It's like, I hope one of them is still in there.
That's unfortunately not going to happen. Let's see. Most Phase Boots, Ring of Aquila. Does he have time to do Helma Dominator and stack up the Ancients? Somebody's already stacked it once for him, but obviously you can't dedicate a support to do it constantly.
No, especially when Seneko has to get his level 6. And they're going to give it to him now by allowing Dendi to just go to the jungle. They need these types of rotations to come in, though. Like, this is way too rough for him to not be level 6 by the 12-minute mark, which is around the time they're going to have the first item completed on Dendi. And it's going to be the Midas this game, and I guess that's fine because Vega's lineup is fairly passive. And this is an item that is really going to take advantage of that.
This is twice now that I've seen Dendi go for the Midas build on SF. I saw it yesterday as well. It paid up big time for Dendi. I mean, he had so many levels on the SF. It was pretty insane.
He's got a level and a half on the Storm Spirit.
And I think it's the same setup as well, where they have an offlaner that's able to go mech.
Oh yeah, that means that they don't suffer as a result of this.
Yeah.
They might not even go mech on Funnick and just continue to further slow down the pace and just get a Blink Dagger on him. Probably don't do that. Mech is probably still the right option, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And,
right.
More importantly, if Na'Vi don't get punished for it, this is pretty huge.
Storm Spirit's got that Soul Ring and a very large camp that he's gonna pop. Start working towards that Bloodstone.
He's going to move through that one pretty quickly.
Well, Solo's got his level 6, so if he goes back to base and heals up his mana, he could actually rotate around and maybe get a quick Laguna Blade kill on someone.
I think they should start looking for opportunities to happen. You can't just let the this passive phase happen, especially when you notice that Dendi has a Midas. You want to be able to punish that, especially when your Storm's not going to be able to keep up when it comes to levels.
Oh, Hookshot's going to be able to get Seneko here, Mag. He may have to use the cogs here for the last bit of damage. Never mind, they have easily enough. Seneko was trying to get over the cliff, but between the Battery Assault and the slow of the Storm Spirit, will be able to pick up the kill. Still, though, there was a smoke and a lot of mana burns by no one, as well as a hookshot used for just a support, so it wasn't that big of a loss for Na'Vi.
Yeah, especially since the Shadow Fiend just continues to get farm. He has a DD rune picked up at bottom.
Oh, I think he was going for the cogs pushback onto the cliff, but he's actually just making sure Dendi can't get through. Hopefully he'll be able to slow enough, long enough for no one to get here, and they will. But going to be pressed down, and another easy kill for Vega Squadron. Already, too. Now, PL, ultimate goes out. Cooldown's not going to be able to reach him. PSF, though, still going to be able to hit this stun. Now Funnick is here as well with Malphus and the potential black hole. He actually got blocked up and he didn't get off Malphus for some reason.
And Hobos is now in some trouble as he's getting quite low, and that's a fairly big investment by Na'Vi as they rotate 3 heroes at top to kind of get something out of the Dendi death. But they're unable to do so, and now all of a sudden the Storm Spirit's net worth at the top of the leaderboard, and that's the type of pressure that I was talking about that you have to put on the Shadow Fiend. Yeah. And it just kind of happened to fall into their laps.
And now they're even pressuring this tier 1 tower at the bottom lane. Nice light strike array just to open up those trees to see the rotation. And sure enough, Funnick is here. He's looking to complete his mech. Just another 200 gold before that's there. Seneko needs his Winter's Curse. Still a full level away from that one.
he needs it to be able to gank the Phantom Lancer. It helps so much in that regard, because you can set up black holes with it too, which is probably the most important thing. It looks like Funnick is a little bit hesitant to use it just to get it cancelled, or to use it just for a support or anything like that, and getting the Winner's Curse off in conjunction with it would be pretty big.
Call down, just some pressure. Pasha actually sees that one coming. Doppelganger's away.
Vo's taking some damage.
Gyrocopter. I mean, in full team fights, like, he's good versus the PL, but in this, like, 1 versus 1 laning matchup, he's just constantly being harassed by the Lances. And oh, they've got the mech now, but still gotta... I mean, I imagine Navi still gotta wait it out for the Midas to start kicking in, for Dendi to have that first real item.
What I would really like to see Navi do is, do they have level 6 on their Winter Wyvern? Yeah, he's really close to it. He's actually eaten the bounty rune, still a little bit a ways away, but I think they can start to get aggressive about now, because the Phantom Lancer hasn't had nearly a good enough start like he did in the last game, where they were just able to fight whenever they wanted.
Yeah.
This time there's going to be a build-up, so the hero is going to take some time to really enter the game, especially if he decides to go for this Boots of Travel build first. So I think it's on Navi actually to get pretty aggressive here and just take advantage of the fact that Vega can't take you in a 5-on-5 fight. Like, there's actually no way that Vega should be able to win a 5-on-5 fight against a team that A, has a mech, and B, has the carry that can fight earlier. Like, Gyrocopter is so much more useful than Phantom Lancer in these early engagements.
At what point do you go Diffusal for the PL? Because I've seen many different builds. Some are much more farm-oriented. It seems like Diffusal is the item that you get once you feel like you have to fight. There is a Midas on SF, so that could slow down Navi a bit, but there's still going to be a significant amount of pressure, especially around that 25-minute marker.
I still think you get the travels on the PL first.
Yeah, but...
like, probably... I don't know. I really like this build. Going for the travels into the Yasha. The Yasha just increases your farming potential by so much.
Yeah.
It's just so much free damage. The attack speed, the move speed, it all synergizes pretty well.
And then he went Diffusal after that, right?
I think that's fine. I think that's the build that you kind of want to go. Like,
yeah. I think that you're probably looking at, what, like a 30-minute Diffusal?
If they win like
sooner.
one fight, significantly sooner than that.
Yeah.
But it really depends, because I don't know if you can really fight into Navi's lineup at this point.
Solo smoked up. Hook shot is available from Mag, but it'd be pretty tough to lock down that Winter Wyvern by himself, so he's not going to go for it. Mo's still having so much fun with Pasha.
Yeah, he doesn't have
to go back to base soon.
Yeah, Pasha's got one more Lance available. Havos has used all of the stick charges. It's just going to force both of them actually to disengage and say it's not worth it. Meanwhile, everybody from Vega is invading the jungle of Navi, and they're just making more efficient use of all the lanes. Like, they're taking a jungle and 2 lanes at the same time. Or 2 jungles and 2 lanes at the same time. Funnick in position, though.
Yeah,
this is
I think
a really
he's
nice position, too.
I thought he was going to stay inside there and
Me
pop out
too.
and go for the Malphus Black Hole, but I guess he just wants to keep the damage off of the tower for as long as possible. Middle lane, are they going to jump him? TP away. Dendi is actually going to complete that one. Looks like they're going to go for a tier 1 tower push, so Vega Squadron can aggressively push in both middle and top if they just want to give up that tower.
They're going to go for the push, too. Like, especially when Dendi commits for the TP, they have to know that he committed for the TP, too, with the help of that ward. So this is going to signify to Vega, let's just do a lot of damage to that top tower. Pasha can just play super aggressively. We know where all their heroes are, and no one can just kind of skip these waves and get more farm more efficiently than everybody from Navi can. Like, they're splitting up the wave. They're going to see the gyrocopter go down, and that might even alert them to fight because they know that the gyro is not going to be there for this.
Radiant's middle tower has
The 4-man keeps on going. The Eidolons are making this push a bit faster. Still, Pasha is getting some free damage on the tier 2 at the top lane. Now the TPs start coming in. Lena's going to be the first one out. Dragon Slaves clear through some of those range creeps. The tower is almost dead, but Navi, realizing that Vega Squadron have begun to back up, not wanting to fight underneath that tier 2. Not yet, anyway.
That was a lot of free space for Vega too, though. Like, they managed to pick up a tier 1 tower that was probably more important. Like, they got the mid one, and we've talked about the importance of the mid one, being able to keep control of your jungle, and those smoke ganks being a lot more potent. And at the same time, Pasha just got a lot of time to farm. Even going for the drums. This might mean he skips the Yasha. Maybe feels comfortable with the amount of stats that he has right now, but
yeah,
no one's gonna go for the split push here at top.
I'd be okay. Like, I think you have to go one or the other at this point, drums or Yasha, and I think drums is like a little bit more stat focused, right? That allows you to be a bit better in team fights. So maybe he is feeling the pressure from Na'Vi, going for that tier 2 tower at the bottom lane, thinking Na'Vi may try and force like full-on team fights in another 5 to 10 minutes.
Navi's gonna go for the Roshan as their next objective, and there's actually no way that anybody from Vega is contesting this. Like, they probably are gonna scout it here with this rocket, but it's at this point it's one of those way too late moments. Like, they're gonna say, "Oh,
yeah,
crap!" Like, they're gonna go for the Roshan. There's nothing we can really do about it at this point. You don't commit mag to that. Like, last time they did, and he just died instantly.
Yeah, and that fight turned out real bad. That was the vacuum fight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you just continue to go for the split push. Like, no one's getting so much out of this. He's almost taken the tier 2 tower down at top, too.
Now they found Funnick. He's not getting away. Dragon Slave will free up the kill, and Soul actually kind of needed that bounty, as he's going to be able to finish up the Yule Scepter
tier
now.
2, too.
Tier 2, Tier 1, Na'Vi just seem to be a little bit lost right now as to what to do.
It's weird because they have the Aegis advantage, and it's actually Vega that's getting aggressive all across the map, and Na'Vi... The Roshan was completely the right idea. Like, that's a perfectly fine move, but they have to kind of start getting aggressive a little bit sooner now, because when you go for these 5-man plays from the last like 4 minutes that we've seen, you do start to get behind.
Zip forward, no one still has half of his mana left. But it looks like he's just forcing a reaction.
Fully completed Bloodstone now too on the Storm. It's really fast. And a Yule Scepter for the Lina. All the core items are coming out.
I can't believe they've still only taken one tier 1 tower.
With like the line when they've got Enigma plus Mech.
Yeah. Enigma, Mech, I mean, SF doles out a pretty good amount of physical damage. Like, maybe you don't push as early. Oh, jump in. No one's just making that TP play. Zips right past them, TP'd back to base. Na'Vi, knowing that, are going to quickly push in this tier 1 tower. May even go for more.
That's
Still
what we're
have
talking
that
about,
Aegis
though.
advantage.
Because you know they can't take this firing. There's no way. Like, Endy's got 2 lives, he's almost got a BKB. You've got so many different items on the side of Na'Vi that are meant to fight with. Like, Havos now has his BKB coming in too.
It looks like they're going to fight soon, though. They're not going to give up the tier 2 tower for free.
It's a positional game right now. Is Mag just throwing out rockets.
Snako sitting on a similar hiding hole, waiting to be able to get that counter initiation Winter's Curse. But Vega, I'm sure, just looking to spam the enemy out, not force them a full-on fight, as you said.
Just trying to create time. That's all you have to do. You've got more mobile cores than Na'Vi. But Na'Vi, again, they've still got a Shadow Fiend with the Midas who continues to scale. I just feel like it's not hard enough right now. But he does have the level game completely on lock, like you talked about.
Let's see, level 13. Compare that to everyone else. Yeah, he's 2 levels ahead of anybody else.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's significant right now. As Na'Vi, they're going to start to pressure all the tier 1 towers, and this is the play to make.
Looks like they may be able to pincer the Storm Spirit. Seneco's just trying to buy himself time. Can he get the Winter's Curse off before? No, he's going to be double stunned up, and that means no Winter's Curse to hold in the SF as the rest of Na'Vi come forward. Looks like they'll be able to get mag, though, so it's still a decent trade-off support for an offlaner, and they will be able to take this tier 1 tower. Sad thing is, though, Pasha is split-pushing the hell out of him. He's got the tier 2 at the bottom lane alongside Solo, and they're just going to keep going until Na'Vi start TPing back.
They just took a tower out of that, and that means they can't continue to go for it, and the Storm, yeah, it was a support for an offlaner, but he gets a Bloodstone charge out of it, and he just continues to take so much of the time from Na'Vi, where Vega wins that trade every time, right? They get a tier 2 tower out of it, they get a Bloodstone charge on their Storm, and nothing of value was lost.
So, a little bit of a late TP actually allows him to dodge that race. No one's still going for the Orchid. And Seneko. He may need some, he may need TP here. Otherwise, Pasha just would have dove him.
Everybody comes in now, and Vega just continues to split up the map.
They will have Blink Dagger soon on PSM, and that'll add a lot more catching potential for Na'Vi. That's the thing. It feels like right now, Storm Spirit is hardly even scared of the line without that Blink Dagger. It's just like the Winter's Curse into some of these other disables that would cause him issues, but the just natural low range of the Lion.
Yeah, same with the Winter's Curse.
Yeah, it's not great.
No one got chased by the gyro rocket, and he doesn't even bother rolling. He's like, "You're gonna give up on this before I roll."
Yeah.
And the
Man, Solo is very rapidly approaching that Aghanim Scepter. With all the free space that he's getting in this bottom lane, like, he's constantly being the one to split push.
Dang, you're right.
Even if they gank him, right, it's not going to be that valuable. Are you going to rotate? Yeah, you're going to rotate 2 or 3 heroes to try and shut down the support?
He's got more net
shot. Oh, he actually grabbed PSM, but there is Havos there, so he's going to have to force staff out. Does get hit by the call down. Storm Spirit actually comes in, finish off the line with another TP ball lightning play. Mag, well, he got some distance thanks to the Yule Scepter out from Solo. Light Strike Array will also land. They are saving this clockwork. Throws out a Cogs. He'll have a force staff here in 4 more seconds. The missile's going to land first. And maybe they can still get him. Funnick.
It's a short one, though.
Getting close. TP out. Malphus, are they going to be able to get in time? Funnick sees him. Malphus just in time. Still, though, he created so much space. Look at this. Na'Vi, they've got 4 members all inside their jungle. Meanwhile, this top lane is almost pushed into the tier 3 tower.
Yeah, and the Storm just continues to farm, and he gets a pick off there during that engagement, and the Phantom Lancer just continues to get farm. Things aren't that bad, though, for Na'Vi. They still have a SF that is completely overfarmed, and they've got one of the best mechanisms in the game at just flat out winning you a game. If the Enigma is able to get even a decent black hole off, like this game just completely turns.
Vega Squadron not going to give up this tier 2 tower without a fight. Mass rotations occurring. They know someone has to deal with that top lane. That someone is PSM right now.
He has to get his Blink Dagger. Yeah, like, they have to devote everything to it right now.
Oh, but look at this. Does no one have the burst damage?
Oh,
because he could feel pretty safe, right? If he had the haste, the Hex won't actually control him that well. So he can jump PSM, especially with a long ball lightning jump. Yeah, he'll be able to get the pullback Remnant, and that is surely enough damage. Oh, he actually managed to get off the Hex. No one can still run him down with the ball lightning, though. Meanwhile, bottom, ooh, there's the Shallow Grave. Dazzle keeping himself alive for a bit longer. He knows he's not getting out of this one. No TP away for him. Pasha quickly rotates up to the top lane, seeing still so many heroes from Na'Vi at the bottom lane. Just continue to try and split push Na'Vi to death.
It's a testament to how farmed Dendi is and how well he's playing too, that despite all of this happening, and how much space has been created around the map and how many tier 2 towers have been taken, that he's still #1 when it comes to net worth.
Yeah.
Like, him and Havos are doing a really good job when it comes to...
Funnick! He's going to have to turn around a black hole if he wants to live through this one, but not in time. No one hits him with the ball lightning once again. And manages to get out.
Oh, Pasha might... Oh, no. He didn't get caught by the stun, and this is bad because Vega are just kind of straight up disrespecting Na'Vi. They're running into their base past the tier 3 tower, and there's no real response that can happen, and they even want to maybe look for Dendi here.
Yeah, and that could probably hook shot and just force out the BKB. Oh, completely missed that one. He was hoping to catch Dendi as he was TPing out, and then if he TP, like, if he stopped the TP, then all he has to do is stall up Dendi long enough for his team to rotate into that tier 3 tower and run.
Yeah, but everything being taken right now by Vega as they just continue to farm. Dendi's doing the same. I think they're just waiting for that one big fight or that one big engagement, and then Na'Vi can just get really aggressive on the map because it only takes that one fight. And when it comes to net worth, Na'Vi is actually not that far behind. Like, they're only behind by 11 or like 1,500. That's almost nothing. They can still definitely win this game. It's just the map control game that's a little bit brutal for them.
There it is. Finally the Blink Dagger. Maybe this item will turn things around for Na'Vi. Dendy still going for the SNY build. Mag.
And it's off.
There is no rush whatsoever. Mag just needs to be able to occasionally go for a pickoff. I like the 4-staff build because it makes it so when he hook shots in, he's not committing fully. And especially against some of these heroes like Gyrocopter or SF, very dangerous close quarters. He can just go and essentially like maybe stop at TP, 4-staff out. Just create space, as much time as possible for his split pushing
middle
PL.
tower is under attack.
Do you only go for the blade mail if you can get it so quickly that it makes a difference?
Yeah, you've got to get it ahead of the BKB on the Gyrocopter. Sineko's going to be orking it up, and he will fall, looks like, to this damage over time. Dragon Slave is actually the killer. Mag, turnaround, will be there for Dendy. Vega Squadron back out, once again trading an offlaner for support, but... Oh, PSM jumps forward. Can they get more? Yule Scepter. Solo's actually going to try and kill him, but he missed the Light Strike array. No one comes in and kills him instead. Solo ends up going down to Dendy. But no one still had plenty of mana to be able to escape. And again, Pasha's just keeping that bottom lane pushing while the top lane's still sitting right in front of the tier 3 tower. If they want to go for this, PL may even Boots of Travel. No, he's got to Boots of Travel back and try and fight. I just figured he'd go straight up to the top lane immediately.
I think they want to see if there's any potential, because it's still a 3v5 fight, and the Stormseer can just roll in from pretty much max distance, and Pasha's just going in and out.
Long jump. Most will be pulled back. Oh, the black hole misses! Funnick! He tried to grab no one, and now this PL is going to run rampant. Oh, maybe not. He's actually going to be stunned up and focused down pretty well to get the kill. No one comes back in. Has to ball lightning back out, though. Havos and Dendy are still strong enough.
No one out of mana.
He's got 14 charges. So fortunately, his mana regen is high enough that he's still able to jump away, but that should create enough space for Navi to be able to take this Roshan. I really thought the PL was going to do a lot more in that fight. But
he can't be the frontline tank.
Yeah.
That was just too much damage.
Uh-oh, PSM. Ooh, he managed to stun up Solo, and Funnick just barely survives through that Laguna Blade. Yule Scepter. Dazzle knows there's no saving this Lini. Even if he could get off the Shallgrave in time, he'd still die anyway.
They're trying to buy space right now for the Storm to maybe even go in and steal the Aegis.
Oh, this could be... If Storm goes in, though, and dies to the Winter's Curse or something, that would be a game loser. Like, there would have been such a dramatic... I mean, there already is. That's about, what, a 2,000, 3,000 gold swing coming in?
I don't think they've
about
used it
5,000 experience.
I haven't seen the Winter's Curse this game.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Most of the time it's him getting initiated on, but like you said, the Phantom Lancer, once the Black Hole gets dropped, I think you just completely decommit and wait for your entire team to be up, because at that point there's no way that
Oh, no one. He's been caught. Can he actually control him long enough for a Havos to deal out the damage? Winter's Curse is there as well, so yes. Very definitely yes. Not only killing the Storm Spirit, but they also prevent the Bloodstone Suicide, so they get that unstoppable streak to Sineko.
And that's why, even if you think that's overkill, you don't want to give up.
Sineko, you're going to have to pop the... Oh, never mind. He just picked up that Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, it was as a result of the Storm kill that...
Wow.
Just got like 900 gold instantly.
Yeah.
Everything right now going well for Navi, especially after that last fight. Like, you thought it was going to be a disaster. I did too. Then all of a sudden, they just have enough damage to deal.
How do you tell? How does Dendy know? If he gets it point blank, he won't one-shot the Storm Spirit, right? But how much damage will he actually do?
I think he does.
Really?
Yeah, I think at this range it does. I think he can kill him.
Okay.
Which is why he was looking for it initially. If you're like point blank right on top, you've got the level 3 ulti too.
Unfortunately, that Invis rune will not grant him the opportunity at a pickoff. He's still a good 2,000 gold ahead of both the Storm Spirit and this Phantom Lancer. Item build, though. Where do we go from here? Because I'm still kind of questioning, like, do they have enough to deal with the PL? I know, like we saw in the last fight, PL just got blown up, but that was also an awkward engagement where PL was completely alone.
I think you just get butterflies on everybody.
Yeah, just to deal with... Oh, nice. PSM blinks in. They found the real Pasha, and they blow everything they have to make sure he stays down. This means now a 5-man push uphill. They've got the Aegis. They might as well use this advantage while they have it.
everybody from Vega, they were just playing such smart Dota. They were really reserved. They were waiting for opportunities, but after that mid-fight especially, that was what just completely turns the game right now for them. Like when they kill Pasha and now he's starting to play a little bit out of position and not really going for that perfect split push like he was earlier, and all of a sudden he's 0-2-1. And it just turns around that quickly as Na'Vi. They take advantage of this, and again, this is a lineup that you can't really mess up against. Like, this is such a strong 5-man lineup.
Bottom tower is under attack.
No one actually TP'd, so he can't even get that ball lightning TP damage on Na'Vi. When they commit, it's going to be a full committal here. They're going to jump in. In fact, they've actually managed to lock down PSM. Meanwhile, the black hole gets laid up, but again, it doesn't catch anything at all. Dendy pops the ultimate, but the rest of Vega and Squadron have actually retreated. Now no one goes back in, trying to lock down Dendy. Cold and Break will actually save him a lot of damage. He does still have that Aegis as well, so I'm not sure targeting Dendy is really the right decision here. Matt comes in from behind and just get a really good disruptive set of cogs.
Meanwhile, at bottom,
both stuck in the same area. But you're right, Solo's actually
just hitting that the entire time.
I'm also going to have to back up. What's going down Dendy. He's now going to be targeted by Pasha. Goes for Mag instead as he pops that BKB to deal with the Diffuser Blade. He's going to have to TP out in time. Good Gloomer Cape as well. He managed to just take out the melee racks at the bottom lane.
I was wondering, I was like, where is their Laguna Blade? And I was like, oh, he's just casually hitting a tier 3 and taking down the racks.
Fiery Soul.
One an ability.
Like, he doesn't even have that much intelligence. He's only hitting for 114, but Fiery Soul, give him the attack speed he needs to clear through those buildings.
That's if that type of play ends up winning them the game, I mean, all props to Solo, because the trade wasn't even that bad. They didn't lose too much. I don't think they lost either of their cores, right? Like, the Stormsphere doesn't die there, the Phantom Lancer doesn't die too. That's pretty even when it comes to engagements. Like, that's, you lose a Rax that you expect to because of the Aegis and your Phantom Lancer being forced to buy back. But Butterflies are flying in. You've got Havos, who's got a fully completed Scotty, a Butterfly on Dendy, so now they were having trouble dealing with him before. It doesn't get easier now.
Still though, Na'Vi immediately start 5-manning, and they can actually go from taking the range Rex in middle straight to the bottom lane if they want to try and even out what Solo did at that bottom lane.
Alright, so
they certainly have a big Butterfly advantage, and Butterfly's so good versus his team, right? His PL doesn't usually go for an MKB at all. Storm Spirit, like, you have to go pretty late in the game for Storm Spirit to pick up an MKB, right?
I don't even know if it's an ideal item, unless if both of the cores get a Butterfly, then maybe it's an okay item, but there's still items that the Storm can get. Like, you can still get a Hex, a Lincoln Sphere to deal with the Winter's Curse, which is looking more likely. Yeah, he's got that. Because he knows the only way for him to die, really, is if he gets opened up on by the Winter's Curse, or the line comes in with the Hex.
Right.
So by doing this, makes him incredibly more mobile in these fights. And this Phantom Lancer, once he gets a Scotty too, you'll finally start to see him being able to tank up and get into fights.
Ooh, Lincoln's now.
I think Vega should just kind of avoid getting into fights and slow down the pace and do what they were doing earlier.
Is this Solo, is this him actually going for a refresher? Third item? Or is there going to be a Lotus Orb?
Lotus Orb.
They already have a Lincoln, so
Lotus Orb would be sick. Just because there's nothing the Winter Wyvern could do against the Storm.
Yeah.
In that case.
Yeah, he'd have both Lincolns and Lotus Orb on him.
Yeah, I think that isn't even a bad option in this game. Refresher might be too difficult to get off twice. Like, we've seen it time and time again, right? With a lot of Linas, where you don't want to hard commit for that.
I think I had a game yesterday. I remember Eternal Envy and I having this conversation about Refresher Lina.
It sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
Like, oh, 2k damage, pure nuke. No, it never works like that.
Our PL's still trying to finish up that Scotty. He is pretty far behind in net worth, at least where he was once growing. Funnick, that much-needed Blink Dagger finally coming in to be able to get a kill, a black hole that meant something.
Oh, I think the Lina's going to go down too, yeah.
Yeah, with PSM coming in from the other side, they will sandwich this poor redhead. And that Finger of Death was certainly not necessary. That is a long cooldown ability, and also very costly in mana. Why did he do that?
You got to get your dollars, man.
Okay, well, now he has nothing Or at least no Finger of Death to be able to deal with this top lane push. Vega Squadron, no one, and our Dazzle are both going for the push now.
Is there any TP on the side of Na'Vi? Actually, they have a TP on everybody on their team, and they're actually going for it pretty quickly, but there's no glyph on either side right now, and it looks like they're just going to go for a straight-up trade on both sides and then just defend their last racks. But you got to kind of give the advantage here to Na'Vi because they could just go for that top one.
No, they've got the tier 2 tower still up.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so this is actually a really smart trade because they could even go to the bottom lane and take that exposed racks, the range racks that's still left on the Storm Spirit.
Okay, this means that Na'Vi have to get more out of this.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're just kind of...
Which the answer is going for tier 4s. And is that really a play? Oh god, they're going to be fighting against the Storm Spirit in the tier 4 area. Storm Spirit already jumping in, going for PSM, managed to organ him up after the blink, and there goes the Laguna Blade to wipe him out. No one jumping around is able to stay away. Dendy now popping that ultimate. The rest of Vega Squadron start backing up. No one's dropping low, and he will finally go down.
Here's the buyback.
Buyback comes back in. Hookshot managed to latch in too. Well, no one goes for Dendy in the background. No one should be able to win this man fight against Dendy. Mag, meanwhile, saved by the Shallow Grave. They're just controlling both of both and Funnick now as Pasha comes in to clean up that extra kill. No one goes in for the last surviving member of Na'Vi. Seneko will fall as well. You got your tier 4 tower, but what a great team fight it was for Vega Squadron.
And that trade just benefited Vega so much. Like you pointed out, there was nothing that Na'Vi could do except go for the 1-for-1 trade because of that pre-existing tier 2 tower at top, which I wasn't even aware of for a second. I was like, okay, Na'Vi probably have a game plan around this fact, but that's just a straight-up trade. And then it turns into even more because that's a 5-man team wipe that just happens for Vega. They do have to commit the Storm Spirit buyback, but that's not even that big of a deal.
We're in that potential Roshan spawning time right now, but Vega Squadron, they would have been so happy if Roshan was up right now, but it's not up for another minute. You get a free Aegis off of that after the buyback on the Storm Spirit. I think Vega Squadron just would have been set to win the game from there. But we are going to have a battle over Roshan most likely. Scotty's now finished for our Phantom Lancer. Does he have enough for a buyback? 400 gold. 400 gold in a few seconds and he'll have it. Guardian Greaves now on the Enigma. Gyrocopter working towards an MKB. Or maybe the all-in Divine Rapier. We'll see.
Okay, so if you're Storm, I think Shiva's or Hex is okay. Probably the Hex, and it is going to be the Lotus Sword for the Lina, like you talked about. That's a really significant pickup, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they can actually reflect back the Winter's Curse, that'll be huge. Even some of the minor abilities, such as, like, Rocket, Hex. Like, just imagine Gyrocopter, like, puts Rocket on the Storm Spirit, and all of a sudden, like, halfway through a fight, a Rocket comes out of nowhere and plinks him and gets that, decent duration stun that he's not expecting.
This is a really weird position for both teams because you want to go for the split push if you're Vega, but the tier 2 tower also stands in this mid lane. So you're probably correct in that it's most likely going to be a Roche fight that determines whether Vega can actually accomplish this or not.
Ooh, we've got one smoke up for Na'Vi in 12 seconds, and Vega Squadron, none in the shop, but they do have one on solo. Yeah. So they could actually both go for a smoke engagement, and we're getting pretty late into that Roshan spawning time, so both teams gotta know what's up.
I might just go for right now.
Oh, this is big, so far out, so they're gonna be able to burst him down before any turnaround. Maybe not. He gets off the BKD, call down comes out, unexploded. Oh, he had the black hole ready to go, but there was no more damage out. Now Laguna Blade, Funnick desperately searching for something, but he can't get it. A complete whiff once again on Funnick. Pasha, meanwhile, getting saved by the Shallow Grave. PSM was hoping to be able to target him, but now he's completely out of mana. Enigma, Dendy, doppelganger away. Can he actually get out? Pasha, right-click 1, right-click 2, 15 damage, 20
he's still gonna die?
He's still gonna live! Now Funnick's gonna go down solo, madly right-clicking away. Won't be able to stop that TP out. No one cleans up the kill, finally. And in the end, Pasha lives. And that was a great fight for Vega, but him living just made it all the better.
And you got so many Bloodstone charges on no one. The Roshan is up at the same time. And there's no way they can commit any more heroes to this Roche fight, because if they lose the fight outside of their base, the game just ends. And so there's going to be a free Aegis.
How are they so, like, how is Avos so separated from his team?
I think
both teams knew that was a very critical, like, pick-off period for you to be able to get the Roshan advantage.
It was probably just a call that he was thinking to himself, I'm way too tanky, so there's no way they commit to this fight, and Dendy's got boots to travel up. So worst comes to worst, I get initiated on, we can counter-initiate. It was just the fact that the Storm goes in at the same time as the Clockwork, who nails him with the hookshot, and that stun period, like that 1.5 second stun duration was enough for them to just lay into him, and they didn't even have to commit the Lina ultimate to it, which was the most impressive part. And we just saw Na'Vi, I mean, they just weren't able to hit enough of their spells. And now it's Vega getting quite aggressive. They got a cheese on Pasha. He has the buyback available, so he's essentially got 3 lives to work with. Your Storm Spirit has an Aegis, 12 Bloodstone charges, and finally completes the BKB on top of that Link.
Pasha's already down to half HP. He's got the Lotus Orb placed on him. Storm Spirit did jump in, went straight for Seneko, making sure there's no Winter's Curse, and looks like he's going to try and bounce out. Pasha eats the cheese, and will be back up to full HP. Mag missing the hookshot. Dendy, though, Laguna Blade. Can they finish him off? Mag going for that kill, but now the Cold Embrace starts healing Dendy back up. Funny comes forward, doesn't have the black hole. No one on the left-hand side, still trying to stop Seneko with another Orchid. Avos fights him off, though. Aegis is down, and Seneko, will he finally be able to trap no one? Looks like no. Lincoln, they get it. The Winter's Curse locking down no one. Oh, but that shallow grave keeps no one alive. Solo pops. Oh my goodness, he popped the smoke to be able to dodge the last couple of tower shots that would have finished him off. They get the PL. The rest of Vega Squadron on retreat, though, and they do have a buyback on PL.
Yeah, and this Storm Spirit is just zipping away, trying to get away from this. I actually think the move is just to run into it. And he's also got a Lincoln, so there's like no reason for him to have to worry so much. But that was just Vega not really knowing how to commit to that fight. It just felt like they were kind of lost. They're like, how do we really take this fight properly? And there's no real way because Na'Vi have a pretty decent high ground defense squad. And on top of that, your Storm Spirit is really effective in that open area where he can look around the map, survey. He doesn't have to worry so much about getting 5-manned. But when it comes to those high ground pushes, and there's a Butterfly on the other team, and there's just tanky heroes left and right, you've got a Glimmer Cape on your Winter Wyvern, and you've got the Cold Embrace available for him too. It's just way too difficult for him to isolate anybody out.
Right. Let's see, Dendy. He's got 2,500 surplus, so he's actually not that far away from completing Daedalus and still having a buyback.
He's a walking monster right now.
He is 24,000 net worth, still 4,000 ahead of second place. All thanks to that early Midas.
And this might actually just be go time for Na'Vi, as they know the Phantom Lancer doesn't have the buyback. They know for a fact the Storm doesn't, and the Storm just finished a BKB, so if they're aware of that, then they should feel alright about this, because Havost fully completed MKB, no buyback on him, but Dendy's the main hero that you're looking out for right now.
Right. I mean, I feel like they should wait until the Daedalus and buyback.
Oh.
But just because that if you get that larger critical, you can actually threaten heroes like the Storm Spirit and PL so much more with the very limited number of right clicks you're going to get on them in the first place. But man, Funnick desperately needs to hit a black hole to end this game.
It's kind of crazy that Na'Vi have still managed to like hold in this game despite the fact that they haven't been able to get a lot of Winter's Curses off or that Enigma black hole off.
Yeah.
Like I honestly feel like that's really significant for these fights.
Did your Dota just crash?
Yeah. Mine just like paused.
Storm Spirit doing another one of those zips away. Dendy's got to be real careful when he's on the front line because there's so much burst damage, especially with that level 3 Laguna Blade.
And right now, things are so tense. We don't want to screw this one up. So you don't want to just give the game back to Vega right now. You've worked so hard to build up this position.
Yeah. The bottom lane's pushing in pretty heavily, though. They continue this for another 2 minutes. They're going to be losing their range racks at the bottom lane. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but then range racks, next thing you know, tier 4s start being hit.
In a base race scenario, Na'Vi probably win, right? I think they have more tower damage.
Yeah, I would say definitely.
Yeah, Storm doesn't do enough right click.
Yeah, Storm doesn't do enough right click in PL unless you're hitting creeps beforehand and you're able to amass a significant illusion army. It doesn't proc off of buildings, right? Juxtapose?
I don't know, dude. I'm pretty bad at these kinds of things.
Are you not a PL picker?
I'm really, really not. These like weird mechanics in Dota, like I can't think of off the top of my head. Alright, no one's just zipping in and out. He has BKB plus Lincolns. He feels perfectly fine about this.
They keep on clearing through the creep wave before it gets uphill.
They're trying to buy time right now and no one finally has his buyback. Like it's now available.
Immediately repaired by Cold Embrace. Oh, this late Cold Embrace is such a strong ability.
Dyer's middle tower.
That's 6% per second.
Yeah, but you still, the cooldown is pretty low.
Yeah.
Solo's almost, he's like halfway there already to having his ult back. Probably bigger than that. No one has buyback. That's so huge for this defense. If they can repel Navi here, they could actually just head down mid and force a buyback on their own.
Little by little, they're chipping down this tier 3 tower. Smoke up. Vega Squadron. Looks like they actually wanted to make some sort of initiation.
Here's the weave. There's no way Navi wants to fight under the weave.
Yeah. Do you force the fight outside of your base if you have the weave advantage, though? I don't think so because BKB's right. Oh, no, they're actually going to jump in. Double hook shot. No one goes in for the back. Funny pops his BKB in time and now presses forward in order to get that black hole. Black hole only gets on Solo. Meanwhile, no one cleans out the Winter Wyvern. No Cold Embrace and no ultimate either. Now SF goes down. Havos is left all by him lonesome to try and battle this one out. He goes ahead and TPs away underneath that BKB. Lasts just long enough so he doesn't get hit by the cogs. But he just lost all of his allies in that attempt. Vega Squadron, they seem to have planned that team fight out to a T. Jumping in like every single time, man. I would be so annoyed if I was Snako. No one is just jumping every single time after the Winter Wyvern.
It's honestly the weave that completely destroyed that fight for them.
Yeah.
Like nobody had armor. The side heroes just went down immediately. And after that point, it's just so hard for them to fight. The Lina ulti goes down on Dendi. He's got like no HP to deal with that anymore. He has to try to run at that point, but without any lifesteal, without any heroes to back him up, like the Winter Wyvern going down, no chance that they can get into that fight. And that's what I was talking about. Like they just waited for the weave to continue to tick down about halfway, and they knew in the middle of that engagement, they were just going to destroy.
Radiant's middle tower
Vega Squadron now pushing into tier 3 of their own. Fusion's getting cleared through pretty quickly thanks to the call down. And you notice a very distinct lag of talking illusions. Oh, Pasha needs the Shell's Ray, but again, Sinego's gonna be jumped in the back. Are they even gonna hook shot for him? He does have a buyback though. Havos needs to try and get out away from the Laguna Blade. Double buyback out. Can Vega Squadron actually get away? Sinego's here. Can get the Winter's Curse. He locks down Pasha. Plus another 2. Now Funny comes in for the side. No black hole. Pasha gets saved up by that Shell Ray, but can he doppelganger away to the right direction? He actually goes for a Havos. Doppelganger's up the cliff. Funny is there waiting for it. Trying to get those right clicks. They finally get him in the end. They take down Pasha at the very least, but Vega Squadron forced a couple of buybacks there.
This is the GG push. You have to go for it. Dendi was about to respawn in like 5 seconds, but he had to buy back there for his team to be able to win that fight. Maybe it was like 10 seconds, but not enough time. But there's a buyback available on no one, so you're going to have to deal with 2 of those. The Lina has one too.
For the Roshan, but it's not up. No, they're actually going to blink over, trying to get Solo on the side. TP away, and he's out.
This is so awkward now because you don't have buybacks on any of your cores. I think the Gyro has one, but it's probably more important than the SF does. And that's what they were trying to go for right there, but
yeah.
Drop your treads, get an Aegis, and then go all in for it.
So Clockwork, Winter Wyvern, and Shadow Fiend do not have buyback. Everyone else in the game does.
It's the SF that matters the most, though.
Yeah.
Especially for Navi.
Especially with all the crazy amount of single target damage that Vega have between the Laguna Blade and no one committing for the Shadow Fiend. They could just jump all and take out the SF and then just try and back out.
Alright, if you're Navi, you pretty much have to play around either this Roshan or you just back up, wait things out. If you're Vega Squadron, you didn't have to use your buyback on pretty much anybody, actually. Like, the Phantom Lancer wasn't even forced to buy back there.
Nope.
That's really significant.
Navi were so... They probably knew that PL had buyback, and especially with Stormsphere and Clockwork, right? You can't just push, force the buyback, and back out, right? That's never going to work. So you know there's going to be a fight. in which case you're a bit too scared to take on a full 5 versus 5 right now. So they're really desperate on Roshan respawning, but it still is not up, and Vega Squadron are very rapidly taking back control of the map.
The Storm just continues to get another major item soon. He's got 5,100 gold, so in a short period of time he'll have another item on top of buyback. Can even go for the Hex or the Shivas here. If he just wants to continue to go for the AoE play, then the Shivas is fine. He's done a fine job without the Hex, but it does help when you're trying to isolate targets out. Na'Vi are just gathered around the Roshan area because they know that's something that they have to fight around. And he's TPing into a creep.
Careful there, Havos. Remember the last time you were farming up that middle lane. No one. Be fortunate rune for him. Regeneration. Just laying. Oh, he's going to go in. Taneko once again is going to be the target. He's trying to finish him up. BKB activated just to make sure that Taneko does indeed die. Back over to this middle lane. Right light strike, right black hole. It might just save Tendy. He pops a BKB, but Pasha's damage is still enough, and Pasha is able to claim the kill that was most necessary for Vega Squadron to be able to win this game. But can they still win the fight? He's battling up against Havos. Now goes from PSM, gets that kill. Havos TPs away just in time. But now it's a 3 versus 4 fight is what they're left with. And it looks like an Aegis on top.
Yeah, and this is going to be an Aegis or no one. That'll give him 3 lives. And he's got 20 bloods on Charter. It's closer to 4 lives. You've got a cheese as well. And Na'Vi don't have their Shadow Fiend, so... And the mid lane is pushing in too. So all you have to do, get this Roshan. You'll get a free cheese. You'll get a free Aegis too. Your Storm Spirit has pretty much 4 lives to work with right now, especially if he gets 1 or 2 kills. During that time, he almost instantly respawn, sell his shreds, and go for the travels. And that is going to be rough to deal with. Am I thinking about this right? You've got Aegis, you've got a buyback, and you've got your Bloodstone. Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Oh man, Pasha. He's just too big. He's got the cheese on him now, so even if they do somehow manage to lock him down, they don't have Black Hole either. I don't know, Navi's chances just seem so small.
You have to give up this Mega Creeps and wait for Dendi to come back. There's
Go
actually
for
no
an all-in play?
Yeah, there's no way that you win a fight 4v5.
They do have the Gyrocopter. Oh, okay. He was pushing in the top lane. I thought maybe like mass TP top or something. Try and take Mega Creeps in return.
No, Vega's too focused right now. They can sense blood. This is twice now we've seen in these qualifiers where a team just starts off really hot, dominates game 1, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, that's all. I guess the series is going to look like that, but Vega battling back from that 1-0 deficit.
They're waiting for their opening. They've got Mega Creeps. They've got plenty of time. All they have to do is make sure they don't screw up their opening. And they go for the initiation. Mag has an Invis rune. There is a counter ward that spots him out. Another one. Throw out a rocket. Mag realizes it's a little bit too late that he has been seen. Now they're going to jump in with no one. Locking down Avos as quick as possible. Light strike around. They will have the Golden Priest though to be able to save Avos. Heal him back up. He has the BKB going as well. Will be able to get some of those Black Cannon shots. No one on the front lines with that Lotus Orb waiting for the Aegis to expire. Finally he does go down. Pasha targeted by the ultimate there from Mizkin and Shellgrave. Can he get away? Cheese heals up. Back to full. No one goes deep into the fountain. Able to take out the Gyrocopter. He couldn't even heal fast enough. Now Pasha just managed to dodge the SF ultimate. No one goes in for more. Locking down PSM. Lincoln's protects him for the time being. Dendy's right click's not near enough. Now buyback on the Gyrocopter, and Vega Squadron got what they wanted out of that team fight. Oh, jump in. They're still going to be able to get that one.
Actually going to stun everybody
back. Dendy's stunned back in the background. Now no one. It's going to be the target of the Hex. Funnick also going down. No Black Hole available. He does have a buyback coming out soon. Havost. They could always buy back, and Funnick could come in 10 seconds with a Black Hole. So once again, Vega Squadron waiting on the Clockwork and the Storm Spirit.
I think if you're Na'Vi, you leave one person behind, and you just try to farm this creep wave up, and the rest of them just go down and start to head for the GG push, because look how hard it is for them to fight. Like, even Dendi with his 6-slotted item build can't really hold up against all of these creeps. Like, it's only really Havos that can really do it, and even he's struggling quite hard. And you're not going to be able to just hold, especially if Vega just decides to go for what they're doing right now, which is continuously pressuring. So Dendi, or Na'Vi, actually just kind of have to win a fight and then immediately rush down leave one person behind to defend, but I don't even know if this is going to be an option because instead of Vega just waiting for the Mega Creeps to do their job, they're actively helping them and getting them into
No
the
one
base.
jumps in with the new side device onto Dendy. Laguna Blade. Dendy's gone. He does have a buyback though. PSM quickly run over by Pasha. Next up, Habos trying to chase away some of these supports. Can he get a kill on anybody? Yule Scepter. He's actually going to be able to survive now. Habos in some trouble. No one comes back in. There goes Habos. No buyback. Black Hole locks down the Sword Spirit, but he immediately buys back and is on his way. Mag just trying to interrupt as much as possible. Pasha slows down Funnick. Dendy gets off the ultimate. Winter's Curse turn around. Mag is the target, but no one's already come in. He's locked down Dendy. Dendy has no buyback. Funny's going to fall as well. Na'Vi one by one. They're all going down, and sure enough, Habos sees the writing on the wall. GG is the call. Na'Vi are going to be knocked out of the ESL 1 New York qualifiers. Vega Squadron, the team to move on after losing their first game so very badly.
And that's a really impressive victory just because you get knocked down that hard and everyone's like, oh, you got stomped, and they just kind of ignore it, tune it out, and say, we'll clean out the victory. And Vega Squadron, really good